Welcome back, everybody. Got another quick vinyl update for you guys with some things I've picked up recently. Probably got enough for 2 more videos. I got some record fair finds to get to and a few other assorted finds, but I'm trying to keep these videos a little shorter. First off, got some thrift finds. These are all from the same store. It's kind of interesting to me after going basically all year having kind of a dry spell at the thrift stores that all of a sudden getting into the fall season when you'd think people are cleaning out their garages and attics in the spring cleaning. All of a sudden you get into the fall holiday season when these thrift stores have their busiest time of the year, and the vinyl bins are getting restocked with some good stuff on a regular basis. But I'm not complaining. First off, I went there one day and found a haul of 60s and early 70s records, all in excellent condition. Some of the best copies I've seen of these albums. They look barely played, maybe the odd fingerprint on the vinyl. First up was Bob Dylan, New Morning. This is one I did not have by him. It's not one you hear about a whole lot. 1970, Columbia 2i. Again, just some fingerprints on it. Can't even see any scratches on the vinyl. This is him following on from the kind of poorly received self-portrait album and going back to the kind of laid-back, country folk rock style of albums like Nashville Skyline. Very nice album. It's got If Not For You, which didn't recognize the title, but I did know that song. Next up, Hello, I'm Johnny Cash, 1968, 69-ish on this one. This is one I did have, but again, this is an upgrade copy, gatefold pressing. And Columbia 2i again. No kind of major hits on here, I don't think. I think Sing a Travelin' Song was a single. It's got his version of If I Were a Carpenter, which everyone had a go at in that time. This is another one I had. This is, again, an upgrade copy. It looks barely played. All of these look barely played. Mama Cass, early solo album from her. Bubblegum, Lemonade, and Something for Mama. Kind of like the back cover on this one better. Kind of full hippie regalia. Again, just classy pop songs from her with her bit of jazz touches, bit of the kind of 1940s style, retro, kind of vaudeville or music hall style, kind of classic pop stylings. Great voice. Former member of the Mamas and Papas, of course. I had 2 from Paul Revere and the Raiders. Revolution. This is one I sort of thought I had already, but turns out I did not. Or I might have gotten rid of it at some point. Again, Columbia 2i. Excellent condition. You usually see these things pretty scratched up. Kind of a couple of good garage type rockers on here. Some more pop type stuff. And also from them, this is one I definitely did have, but again, an upgrade copy. Going to Memphis. This is them traveling to Memphis. Produced by Chips Moman. Columbia 2i, just immaculate condition. A little bit of dust, that's it. And this is them in kind of a blue-eyed soul territory with covers of Soul Man, Boogaloo Down Broadway. Good stuff. Another upgrade copy, CCR, Bayou Country. Blue Fantasy label. Of course, this has got Proud Mary on it. Title track, Born on the Bayou. Classic CCR. Excellent condition. Not even any ring wear on this. No scratches. Never see that for CCR albums. Another one I was really shocked to find. Country Joe and the Fish at the thrift store. In immaculate condition. This is CJ Fish. This is a later one from them. I think 1970-ish. Freaky long-haired hippie guys. Of course, San Francisco Bay Area band. It's on the Vanguard label. Famous for their appearances at Woodstock, I believe. Feel Like I'm Fixing to Die, Rag, all that stuff. This is them. Little touches of psychedelia here and there, but kind of mainly kind of folk rock style. Good album. This is one I don't think I'd seen before, but its cover's kind of coming apart on one part, but other than that, it's in great shape. Diana Ross and the Supremes Farewell Concert. As it says, this is the last concert of the original lineup with Diana Ross on lead. Canadian press on Tamla Motown. Excellent condition. It's from 1970, I believe. Again, double LP. It's got them getting pictures of them getting their accolades there as Diana prepares to go solo. Most of it's kind of, if you've heard any live Supremes of the period, you kind of know what to expect. It's kind of tailored to the upscale supper club type crowd, which this is also. But they got a cover of Aquarius, Let the Sunshine In, that takes up all of side 3 and has guests like Marvin Gaye popping in on the mic. And then and the closing tune, Someday We'll Be Together, of course, gets a little emotional. And following on from that, also there, Diana Ross, self-titled solo album. It's one I did not have. Again, Canadian press on Tamla Motown. Excellent condition. 1970, early solo album from her, produced by Ashford and Simpson. It's got hits like You're All I Need to Get By and Ain't No Mountain High Enough, which I'd heard that song many times before. I almost wouldn't even notice it on the radio anymore, but hearing it in all its 6-minute glory of production, just it actually really moved me. Almost had an emotional reaction to that. Just gloriously arranged, great vocals. I've been kind of hit and miss with Diana Ross solo stuff, but I did enjoy that album. And last one from this particular haul. This one I didn't recognize at first, kind of looked interesting. It's Keith Hampshire, The First Cut. The title track is a cover of The First Cut is the Deepest. Keith Hampshire was from England originally, singer, immigrated to Canada, where he had some success with that title track, and also with one called Daytime Nighttime, which totally recognized that song from the AM oldies station radio growing up. Didn't know who sang it. He's a bit, kind of a bit Neil Diamond's style singer, but with a gruffer, more R&B kind of flavor. There's a bit of soul, a little bit of funky bits here and there. If they had gone a bit more in that direction, I think this album would be more well known. But pretty good stuff on here. Enjoyed this quite a bit. Just R&B flavored pop, I would say. Early 70s AM kind of pop. Next visit to the same store, I found, well, first off, last year I think I'd found this compilation from Hawaii called Homegrown, at least a year ago or so. Homegrown. This is a various artists compilation of unsigned up-and-coming artists that was put out by a radio station called KKUA in Hawaii. And just a real nice mix of country, folk rock, often a ecological theme or social commentary on what was going on in the islands in those days. A lot of development and changes going on in society. And there was a whole series of them, and I popped into the thrift store and found the other entries in the series. So I completed it. I was hoping to find another copy of that first one, but that was the only one that was missing. So we got Volume 2, which appeared in 1977, looks like, 77, 78. And these were put out to benefit a rehab center called Habilitat. Here's an insert that was still in it. It was a rehab center to help people recover from addictions. And still got the merchandise sheet here. So all kind of folk rock, very mellow, very laid back, as you'd expect from Hawaiian music, with a few soul and funk tunes for good measure. Lovely cover art on all of them. It's Volume 3, 1978. And then we would have to wait until 1980 for Volume 4, which I believe is the final one, Homegrown 4. So cool to complete that series. Last up, I'll get into a couple of reggae ones. First up is the Silver Tones, Silver Bullets. This is just came out this year from Vinyl Me Please, an exclusive. Originally appeared on Trojan Records in the early 70s. And this is a pressing on what they call Vanilla Sky. Kind of looks like a frying egg to me. Frying blue egg. Replica Trojan label there. The Silver Tones were a Jamaican harmony group founded in the 1960s. Had some hits with Duke Reed. They were quite influenced by soul singers like Wilson Pickett, Benny King, those kind of guys. Worked a bit with Lee Perry in the early or late 60s and hooked up with him again in the early 70s and began work on this album. He was in the process of constructing his Black Ark studio. And this is kind of a mix of styles here, kind of soul reggae, kind of early reggae, and then you've got a tune called Rejoice, Jaja Children, which is the prototypical Black Ark sound, thick as molasses, heavy mix, and dread lyrics. Also got a version side, Rejoicing Skank, just awesome record, very collectible. The original Trojan version is quite expensive, but there was also a Jamaican pressing with a different mix, which goes for over $1,000, very rare. So nice to have this. I think this is the first reissue on vinyl of this. So that is out. Last up is one I've had for quite a few years. Finally got it on vinyl. It's another Jamaican harmony group from the late 70s called The Mighty Threes, Africa Shall Stretch Forth Her Hand. Now this originally appeared, again, very rare album. There's one copy of this original vocal album on Discogs with no cover for like 170 bucks. And then the dub version, which they appeared as two separate LPs, that's also included on this reissue from 2004. That also goes for a few $100 if you can find a copy for sale. Originally appeared with this cover. This is a CDR I made the covers rather, and was reissued in 2004 or 2003 rather by the Maca Sound label out of France. I bought the CD then. Finally got the reissue on vinyl, double LP on the Maca Sound label. Even this reissue from 2003 is expensive, usually goes for around $100. I got it for nowhere near that. It's brand new. And it's just been reissued very recently, actually, out now on the Jaw Fingers label out of England. If anybody wants to snag a copy of that, probably won't be around forever. And the Mighty Threes reissues seem to appreciate in value. So Roots Harmony, got some real heavy Roots Fire tunes on here called like Rasta Business, Nearer to Africa, their version of Sata. Also got some more reflective tunes on here I quite like Sinking in the Mist. Excellent, very obscure Roots reggae album. So that's what I've got for you today, guys. More to come for sure. I want to thank everybody for tuning in, commenting, and hope everybody's doing well. Cheers, guys.